Welcome to Girls on Fire.
All right, guys. Well, we are back with another Girls on Fire episode 3. Third time's a charm. Maybe this one will be our best one yet. No technical difficulties or anything. I'm excited to be back here with my girl, Kristen. How are you?
I'm great, Megan. How are you?
Doing good. We were just catching up, and you were like in wedding season craziness because you were there doing that this weekend. So that was fun. And a huge congratulations to our girl because she got her own apartment.
I did. I moved. I have been going, they say summer's busy season, but for me, I think fall is because we have a lot of work trips on top of wedding season, like Megan said. And then also moving is something I never want to do again in my life. I know I will have to do it again, but here's to hoping I won't for a very long time.
Yes, no, but that's awesome because you're by yourself, right?
That's right. It's amazing. Solo YOLO, and it's been fabulous. I just thank goodness Amazon Prime Day is tomorrow. I have a lot to get.
Yeah, that's the most exhausting part. I know when I moved in my apartment last year, I was like, holy cow, I got so much stuff to buy. It's so expensive.
I'm like, how did I downsize and have nothing? Like,
I,
how did that work out?
yeah, I
Tell
know.
me
It's
how.
crazy. Well, that's so exciting. So you've had weddings and you are moving. Did you get moved out of your house or that you were in?
Fully moved out of my house. Goodwill got a lot of goodies. I tried to sell some stuff, but it was one of those things that here's my good deed of the week. They just need to be out of this house. So fully moved out, fully into my new apartment. It's very walkable. Um, Living in a city, I'm like, I want to be able to just walk everywhere.
Yeah.
So now I can do that, and I love it. So.
Great. Well, good. Yay. I'm so happy for you. Well, we have a lot going on in the world of work right now. I feel like you said, I feel like fall is our busiest season. I know a lot of people always like, summer's crazy and all of that, but honestly, fall's nuts. So
Literally, loco.
wanted to talk about some things that we have going on here before we get into our topic for the day. But I had mentioned it last time, we have our Tech Choice Awards, our Wrenchies again, to make sure you nominate those HTM professionals for all of the awards we have. We also have YP of the Year, Influencer of the Year, Department of the Year. You can go on the whole website, which I'll give you the URL. We'll also put it in the caption, but it is onetechnation.com/tech-choice/awards. So go there, nominate all of those individuals till November 3rd, I believe. And then we are going to have voting open so you can go ahead and choose for the top 5 people in each category. So we'll have that open shortly after that. And then we have.
We can't win. So guys, stop nominating us for influencer. We understand that you want us to win, but we can't.
We're flattered, but we're new on the scene. Let's give somebody else a shot.
Just kidding. Absolutely no one has nominated us. That was a lie.
We're just happy to be here.
Just a part of the team.
Okay, and then another big news, a few weeks we have MD Expo Orlando coming up, which is going to be so fun. That's going to be October 29th through 31st. So we have a couple of cool events happening there. First, I want to talk about our YP event that will be on the 30th of October. It's going to be at 6 p.m. at the hotel where MD Expo will take place, Caribe Royale at the Rum Bar. Woo! Please make sure you guys go ahead and RSVP. So if you go to onetechnation.com/YP, you can go ahead and find that RSVP form, as well as a lot of fun things like our episodes of Girls on Fire if you missed the first 2 episodes. So go ahead and RSVP there. And then, of course, we are going to have some lays. So come see us. We'll be laying everybody.
We'll help you get laid.
So you can come join us at our event, but all the 40 and unders, please come and join us 6 p.m. on October 30th at the Rum Bar. So you'll see signage all about that if you're at the show. And let's see, is there anything? Oh, our Booze and Brews party is that next night on Halloween night, October 31st at 6 p.m. at the same hotel. We are excited because Chris and I have a fun costume. So it's a costume party. So make sure you pack that, have some room in your suitcase. Kristen and I are teaming up with Jeff and Jake from AIV, and we have a fun little costume situation happening. So
It is a contest too, so make sure you pull out all the stops if you want to win.
right, because we can't win, so somebody else has to.
Says who, Megan? Just kidding. No, I'm so excited. I love a theme. I love a costume party. I think it just gets everyone like in the right mindset, and it'll be fun after a week of, networking and working hard and just throwing a fun costume. I think we got a great DJ. I think maybe a photo booth and things like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be so fun. Okay, let's give them a hint. What's a good hint we could give them for our costume?
I feel like any hint I'm gonna say is okay. The hint is fairy tale.
Duh. Well, I said another hint.
You get red hair and fairy tale. That's all you get.
Perfect. I want people to see. Let's see if anybody is watching this out there. Can you guys please comment and let us know what you think we are? It's going to be me, Big Jeff from AIV, Jake from AIV, and Kristen. 4 of us. We're going to be something. That's another hint, I guess, right?
Yeah, no, that's a good hint because that's like, you got to figure it out.
Right. Well, anyways, so yes, we are going to be at MD Expo with all the fun things going on. I think that's all I have for us that we need to talk about. And then, of course, make sure you subscribe to TechNation TV and subscribe to our podcast playlist so you never miss an episode of Girls on Fire.
Hot topic.
All right, let's get started. So we always have like a fun topic that we want to discuss with everybody because we are a young professional podcast, not just a giggly hot topic. It's not just like a whole laugh session with me and Kristen that you're hearing. So we try to talk about something that's going to relate to all of our young professionals out there. So I found this article. It says, does Gen Z struggle more with mental health than millennials? And it was a poll that they took. So this is really interesting. So it's going to be all about Kristen because she's our Gen Z component here at Girls on Fire. So we're trying to talk about her. See why she's so depressed.
Let's dive deep here. Let's dive really deep.
Okay, so let me set the scene of this article and we'll get into it. So on this article from CNN, it says a smaller share of Gen Z is thriving compared to millennials of the same age, and members of Gen Z are far less likely to describe their mental health as excellent, according to a new study. Less than half, 47% of Gen Z Americans are thriving in their lives, among the lowest across all generations in the US today, and a much lower rate than millennials of the same age. That's kind of crazy that there's this many sad people in these streets. Oh, we need to get our
That's funny.
So it says that it went ahead and took a poll, and they've done this for every generation. So millennials, boomers, all of them that have come before Gen Z. And they do it around the age of people between 12 to 26. This is the group that they went ahead and polled. But it says researchers set a scale measuring whether people are thriving, struggling, or suffering as a telling metric. Respondents were asked to rate how they saw their current and future lives and defined as thriving if they gave high ratings in both categories. Well, first of all, I feel like in any, it doesn't matter if you're a millennial, boomer, Gen Z, anybody in that age range is a little depressed because one, if you're between the ages of 12 and 20 or 21, you're just hormones are crazy. You're in high school, you're going to college, you're getting out of college after, somewhere between 21 and 26 anyways, typically, and you're trying to figure out your life. 20s are nuts in general. Of course, we're all out here.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a lot of monumental moments in your life through those ages. I can't honestly remember what I was doing at 12 years old, but I'm sure it wasn't great. So
looked terrible at 12 years old. I was trying, you're in that weird stage where you're kind of chubby and trying to get out of it, and
glasses, headbands, cargo shorts down to your knees, silly bands. You look at your parents and you're like, why did you dress me like that?
Or
Like
why'd you
who and they, yeah, why'd you let me look like that? And then you have like your teens, which are arguably some of the hardest years of your life. So, and that's a big part of it. And then, like you said, your 20s, you're used to this like schedule of if you decide to go to college, you're used to kind of like a stricter schedule. And then you just get unleashed into the world. And it's like, okay, figure out what a 401k is, find a job, pay rent, do
right.
this. And it's like, whoa, this is a lot.
It's crazy town. But this is my question though, because they showed like they pulled from whenever they did this for like the other generation. So there's Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, baby boomers, and then did you know that the generation or before baby boomers was called silent generation?
No.
I didn't know that. So they pulled all these people in that same age range from 12 when they were from 12 to 26. So there's the reason why this is like so concerning is because Gen Z, they're like at this age level, their like value of how highly they think their life is or how good their life is so much lower than the others. Like they just are like 47% of them think their life is crap.
Well,
But why?
okay. So
Comparable like millennials, they were higher. I think it was like 50 or 55% of those during ages between that age group were saying that they had excellent mental health. Or when Gen X respondents, they were even higher than millennials, with that percentage. Why is Gen Z different?
So, okay. After reading the article, I was really trying to think about this from like a me perspective and just like representing Gen Zs as a whole. And I think there's like two really big factors in it. One, we've said this over the last couple of podcasts, Gen Z is just more vocal. They are a much more outspoken generation, so they're not afraid to say exactly how they feel. So whereas I feel like millennials just kind of like sometimes appease, like, okay, I'm just, you know what, I feel fine. There's a lot more people out there that are probably worse off than I am, so like I'm gonna put good versus Gen Zs were very much like woe
Oh,
is me sometimes
yeah,
and vocal. So it's like if I'm having a bad day, yeah, I'll tell you. I will let you know right now. And it could be today, tomorrow, I'll let you know.
right.
And
That's
then
really a bad thing.
like, do you agree with that though? Like it's because we're more vocal
Yeah,
sometimes.
definitely think you guys are way more vocal. And I think that you are basically like, I feel like society is so different. Not even 'cause millennials, like obviously we're like right on the border of you guys. So I think we kind of like a lot of people lump us all in together a lot of times with our viewpoints and stuff. But for example, like Gen X or whatever, they like are like, well, why are you guys like so vocal and upset out here? But maybe they are just hiding it better, like you had mentioned, and
Yeah.
they're not talking about it. So they're like, everything's fine, all of it's fine, which I
Yeah.
get because I used to be like that, but I feel like I'm starting to be more like, no, I'm not okay, and that's okay. So I think
Yeah.
you're right. I think that's a lot of that has to do with that.
And so that was the first like big factor in my mind. The second one would be social media exposure. Our generation, I feel like, has the ability to not only like share how they're feeling to like a huge platform, but also our generation is, and I would say millennials as well, but Gen Z's more. Like I'm closer to millennial age in the sense I didn't grow up with social media, but I was starting to get social media like into my college years and being exposed to like what's going on in the world at the fingertips, like, and a lot of times it's negative stuff or things that like give you anxiety or things to worry about versus like 12-year-olds. My biggest concern was what I was having for dinner that night. Now 12-year-olds can see that the stock market's crashing and they don't even know what it is,
Like more things to panic about.
Yes, I think like social media is such a double-edged sword, but like having access to so much, when you ask how's your mental health doing, like, oh, well, I might have just watched a really sad video on TikTok and now I'm depressed. Or I've been seeing all these, like, especially with young girls, like self-esteem is at an all-time low because you're comparing yourself on social media. So I just think factors like that is why our generation has worse depression, anxiety, because social media plays a big part of that.
Right. And I do feel like Gen Z is really good at like expressing like how they feel and everything. But also, I think it can be a negative situation as well because they will say, sometimes I see people say the craziest stuff. And I'm like, you just, and it's more like in a hateful way, you know, like they want to like break, like you said with social media, they want to break somebody down or like troll on them or whatever the case is behind the computer. But I actually don't think they would really say it to my face in real life, you
No,
know?
no, they wouldn't. And it's hiding behind a screen. And that's why this generation, I feel like it can be more vocal too, because they're being vocal online, which is very different than being vocal to someone's face.
Right. So, yes, I do think it's a great thing that they're more open, talking about how they're feeling. I think they're, you know, even like therapy, it's not like it used to be like a really like scary thing to say, yeah, I'm going to therapy. And people are like, oh God, like, what's wrong with you? And you're like, I'm just trying to make sure I'm good, you know? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of more positive things to it. Because I did read in the article too, it said something about, well, let's talk about the positive, like that you guys are optimists, you know? So like you definitely will like be like sad and talk about like your feelings and all how you're feeling, but you also are optimistic to life as well. Like you're ready to try anything for the most part.
Yeah, I've always said I think everything's going to work out. I just need to, keep doing what I'm doing, trust that everything's going to work out. And I think that's what our generation feels. Like, even if things aren't great right now, like, we have the tools to make it better. And like, that's probably where social media is also a big help. It's like, if you need something inspirational, you can find it in 2 seconds. Like, I like to follow a lot of like inspirational pages that have like good quotes every day. And just like, Megan, I see you post a lot on your Instagram story, like inspirational quotes of the day. Do you follow an account that does that every single day?
I like feel like I just, you know how you have like a for you page or whatever?
Yeah.
Like I just like scroll through that and like then like, you know, it's like it does the logarithm thing where it like whatever, I don't know, I have no idea how internet works or how it knows what I'm feeling or what I want to
They just know. I swear my phone is inside my brain sometimes. It
yeah,
knows.
kind of how I find a lot of the things. But no, that totally makes sense with the whole social media and everything. I had another. Uh, let's see. So what like do we feel like the other generations had it easier? You know, like do you feel like because of social media and because of all these like crazy things that we have the younger generations have access to now that makes them more susceptible to know these things that are going on in the world at a much younger age? Do you feel like maybe millennials and Gen X and baby boomers and stuff, we were kind of like naive, you know, to what's going
Yeah.
on in the world. So then we were like, yeah, of course I'm happy. Like I'm trying to think about it. Like for the most part in high school and everything, I was happy. Like I didn't have all this, like I haven't have anxiety about tests and things like that, you know. But there's someone looking at you. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys. Communal workspace.
This is why Gen Z has anxiety. There's people just looking
Yeah,
around.
someone's always watching me.
Okay. Anyways, what were
Um, well, okay, to answer your question,
yeah.
and this is where I feel like the millennial side of me comes out. It's like, I don't want to sit there and say like we have it harder, because like I don't want to, like, there, you can't really compare other people's lives or experiences, but I do think the exposure aspect that I keep harping on, because I feel like it's the biggest point, like you said, like, but I also didn't, like you were saying, high school, like I didn't really have social media either. And
Yeah.
social media then versus now is like completely different,
You have
even.
MySpace?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
MySpace was fun because you could like sit there. You thought like I thought I was smart because I was doing like these codes and stuff to do like the like you know the pretty like backgrounds and you'd put like music to it or whatever. Yeah, we had like a
YOLO.
yeah. We
BFF and then the for life.
yeah, I know. Like that was just like it was like more like fun. Like, I don't remember like any like craziness from that or anything. And then I think I had Facebook like when I was maybe like a senior or junior in high school, I got it. And then I don't even remember when Instagram came out, to be honest. So yeah, we didn't really have as much exposure to it as we did. Like people.
Yeah, and it was, I think it was fun because it was, I mean, I don't know anyone that was making money off of social media back then as it is now. So like there's less pressure because it really just was a place for like you to post funny stuff and like connect with your friends and stay up to date versus like now like people are making it a full-time job.
Right. Like Gen Z sees this as like a potential job opportunity. So they're like, if I can, I want to be like, I don't know, who's like a good Alex Earl, like people
Yeah.
see her and she like just blew up because she's really pretty. She like does makeup, she shows her cool outfits, and they're like, I want to be her. And then if they
Yeah.
can't be her, because honestly, if you think about it, like one in a million basically are gonna
Yeah.
blow up like she did, And so I think people see that and they want that so badly that maybe, I don't know, I feel like they just feel some type of way about it.
Yeah, and also like I think about, say the survey was sent out over the summer or something, and you're sitting at your desk doing your 9 to 5, and you get on social media and you see all these people on their 3 month long European vacation, not working, probably, just like doing all these extravagant things, and you're like, why can't that be me? Like,
Right.
so it's like there's so much comparison. I think that's the biggest problem. It's like when I was younger, I was just focusing on me and the people around me and myself being happy. And now it's so easy to look at others and be like, why can't I look like that or be like that or go do these fun things and be making this? There's just so much comparison, and that could play a huge part on mental health, like professionally, personally, wellness, like all of it.
Yeah, what do they say? Comparison is the like thief of joy or whatever, or
Yeah.
something like that they say.
Mhm.
It's true. I mean, I do it. We all do it. And people older than us do it. Like you'll see, oh my gosh, this person has all these like great outfits. But we don't know, they could be like in debt up to their ears. We have no idea. Like same with like people going on those trips and things like that. We have no idea. It's all an illusion. But I think that because social media is starting so young, like you had said, it doesn't register to like a 30-year-old like me. Like I understand, like maybe they do have tons of money and they're able to do all of this, and like more power to them, but someone at 12 or 13 years old, when they see people that are just maybe 20 years old doing all these life experiences that they want to do, I can totally see, because not that they don't have, yeah, like it's just like the more you get older, the more wiser you get, and so I think they just can't comprehend, like, well, why can't I get to that place, or why can't I be that person? So I don't know, maybe it's just social media, maybe that's why. And also I do think a lot of it is that we were very naive, like we didn't know as much as the younger people do now, which I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I like the way I grew up.
Same. I mean, I'm from like the smallest town ever. I graduated high school with 26 kids. So like womb of comfort is to the max for me. And like I loved that. And like, but I love living in a city now and like learning and growing and experiencing all these new things. But like picking up sticks in my backyard was like normal at 12, not sitting on Instagram. So
Right? I know. I played with Barbies until I was probably like in like middle school, like seventh grade or something like that. I loved Barbie.
I was a Polly Pocket girl, and then I got a boy Polly Pocket, and I would play Bachelor and Bachelorette with my Polly Pockets. So,
Yeah, it was the best. I feel like kids are missing out.
oh yeah, there's so much you can do like outside. It's just not the same. And that's why I feel like I kind of teeter on millennial Gen Z. I'm at that weird age where like I'm still a 90s kid, but I'm
Right?
technically clumped in with Gen Z, which I have a lot of Gen Z tendencies
Yeah.
because, social media, TikTok, love all of that. But like I see some of the younger kids now and they scare me. I'm like, you kids are scary. You know more than me, and I should know more than you.
Well, what are the last thing we can cover on this is like what are some suggestions that you have that maybe help you in your life where you like get out of a funk, or like you don't like you feel like yourself getting like this crazy anxiety, or you're stressed or feeling some type of way, like what helps you like get out of that?
I would say my biggest thing is like going on a walk with my AirPods in, listening to like my favorite music. Like I'm a big music person and I have playlists for every moods that I go through, and just like getting outside, getting the endorphins going, going on a walk and just like observing everyone around me and listening to good music. Like that's my number one stress reliever, truly.
Yeah, I know. I feel well. See, mine is like podcasts because I like somebody talking to me, like especially because I drive quite a bit because I commute to work. So it's just nice to like get out of your whole mind and just like hear somebody else's story or whatever they're talking about, or reading. Like I feel like you'll just have to get off social media more. I think that is like the best thing ever for everybody.
Yeah, I think like screenagers, I always joke like with that word, like whenever my mom's even on her phone, I'm like, okay, screenager, get off the phone. But it's
Right.
so easy to just like pick up your phone and like sit there in your like thoughts and not really like get out and process whatever emotions you're feeling. And like same with therapy, like it's good to talk about your feelings and not like just hold them in. So I think just like taking time for yourself in whatever that looks like, whatever capacity that is. Like you sometimes forget, like even if that's taking a PTO day, like that's there for a reason. Like if you need to support your mental health and you have the access to do it, like take time for yourself. It's there.
Agreed. Well, guys, we will have this article linked for you if you want to read more about it. And it's kind of interesting because it shows you the poll, like I had mentioned, of the different, millennials, all of them, just to see where they were at with like how they rated their life at this point. It's just, I don't know, I find it interesting that how everybody is so different. So I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I think that's all we really have for you guys today. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
No, I guess we'll just see hopefully a lot of people at MD Expo come up and say, hey, to the girls on fire.
Yes, we'll see you all at the YP event there, like I had mentioned, that's sponsored by Adepto and Pile Bio. We will see you at Booze and Brews, of course. Don't forget your Halloween costumes. And then, of course, you can find Kristen and I at our pages, Kristen Register. We are on Facebook and LinkedIn, Megan Cabot. And then you can also go and subscribe to TechNation TV to find us there. And that's all we got, guys. We will see you next month.